Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario, where I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsntea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsntea.stampinup.net. So welcome everybody. We're going to use some supplies from the new September to December mini catalogue today. Great selections in that catalogue. It's just lovely. Mine isn't here yet, but it will be here any day, I'm sure. And I've got an order coming next week, so you know, we might have new supplies to use next weekend as well for the card. So let me get started. I'm going to turn the camera down. I'll show you what we need to use today, and we'll make a card together. These are the supplies we're going to use today to make this card. It's sort of an easel card. It's called a faux easel card. The stamp set we're going to use is the sophisticated Sled stamps and dies, and it's $72.75 in the, let me think, the September to December mini catalogue. Great stamp set, lots of nice stamps and lots of nice dies as well that you can use to cut out the parts. So that's the stamp set we're going to use. We're going to use one of the new embossing folders. It's called Birchwood. It's about, I don't know, 6 by 9. It's huge. It'll make great embossing, you know, huge embossing areas. That's maybe a better picture of it there where you can see it. It's this way. Lovely really deep embossing. It's 3D, really deep embossing, makes for a lovely background. Excuse me. The paper package is called Nests of Winter. Beautiful, in the September to December mini catalogue again. This one is not so much a Christmas paper, more of a winter paper. Let me just see if I can take it down. More of a winter paper. It does have pine boughs and things, and the stamp set that goes with this can cut out some of the birds, these birds here, the pair of birds. You know, you've got pine boughs, you've got berries, you've got birds, but you've also got some nice sort of plainer patterns on the back, and you've got some stripes, you've got some diamonds, more birds, this birch bark page, which is just lovely, and that's what we are going to use today. We've got a piece where you can cut it across the middle, you know, make a nice border for your scrapbook pages, and we've got some nice birch bark on the back. Lovely papers, and that's what we're going to use today to make today's card. So let me set that down there. We've got some basic supplies, of course. Oops. We need, what have we got? We're going to make this in real red because I'm making this into a Christmas card. So this is real red, 9 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I've already scored it at along this edge, 3 3/4, 6 1/2, and 7 3/4. We've got a piece of real red again, 8 1/2 by 2 1/2, and I've scored it at 3 inches. Then we've got a piece of basic white, 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, a piece of basic white, 3 by 4, and we've got some scraps, you know, for sentiments and to punch out, to put a wreath, skates, blades, laces, all the little odds and ends. We've got 2 pieces of DSP. We're using the birch bark DSP. This piece is 4 by 3 inches, 4 across the top and 3 down the side, and this one is 4 across the top and 1 down the side. So you've got a piece 3 by 4 and 1 by 4, and then we've got the scraps. So first of all, let me think. Let's do the stamping first. This card takes a bit longer to make, but it's a beautiful card when you're finished. Need to clean this mat. Okay, what do we need to do first? We're going to do some stamping first. Now I've got a piece, this was just a scrap of cardstock. It might be too big. I maybe don't need that. Just a minute, let me think. That's for the back and that's for the back. Where are my scraps? Okay, because you can use your scraps to make most of this card. make sure I've got the right pieces to keep, the measured pieces to keep for the card. Alright, so what do we have here? We're going to use this piece. We'll maybe cut it off into a section. We have, I need to move that up so you can see. Wait a minute, maybe I can move the camera. You all know my name, you don't need to see it at the top of the screen. Right, so we've got this piece. We've got some things that we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp the wreath from the stamp set, and we're going to stamp a couple of sentiments. Now one of the sentiment has to go on this piece here, because that goes actually on the very back of the card, and on the back of the card it's going to say, I hope your days are filled with fun and laughter. Now if we want to, we can put that on the front, because the other sentiment we're going to stamp says, let's decorate the season with happiness. Doesn't matter which one goes on the front and which one goes on the back, it's your choice. I think let's decorate the season's going on the back, and I hope your days are filled with fun is going on the front. So that's going to go there. The wreath is going to go here. What else do I need? I need to punch out some skates and things, but that's all odd pieces. I need a little bird. I'm going to put a little bird on this. Which way does he go? He's a funny looking bird to look at, but we'll just stamp him on there. Now we're going to stamp everything in garden green, but the bird is going to be stamped in Memento Black because it just looks better in Memento Black. Alright, so let's get started. What else are we going to use today? We've got, you know, your ribbon, your glue dots, adhesives. Oh, we've got this little bottle called Pearlized Enamel Effects. It's in the annual catalogue, and it needs a really good shake, but it just puts little drops of colour on your card or whatever you're using. Now this is it. It's not it's nice, it's just not quite as shiny as I thought it would be. You know, I wanted more of a glittery red, but that's what we've got for this morning. I'll show you how to use that. I'm going to put that on the card, the very last thing. It's like your gems, you know, you put your gems on last. I'm going to put that on the card last thing because it needs to sit for a few minutes so that it can dry. And we've got a corner punch which we may use. We've got some alcohol markers, and I think that's about all we need. It's enough to make one small card, isn't it? Alright, let me punch the bird, stamp the bird first. So I'm just inking up in Memento ink. You know what, I'm going to stamp this twice because I think I want to stamp him and stamp him off and use the stamped off piece. So there he is once. I like that much better, much better. It just looked a little bit too harsh on my card. We'll colour them both and we'll stamp out whichever one we like the best. That's the end of the Memento. So we've got some garden green that we're going to use. We're going to stamp the wreath in it. There. There's the wreath. What else are we going to stamp in garden green? We need some sentiments. This sentiment here says, let's decorate the season with happiness. We're going to put that on the back of the card, so that's going to go on here. That's the 4x, what was it? Basic white. That's the 3x4 piece of basic white, and I'm just going to stamp this right about the center. There. What else have I got? I should have another sentiment right here. This one is going to go on the front of the card, so I'm just going to stamp it down here, and we'll cut that off before we go to the big shot. We've got that stamped, that stamped. I've stamped 3 or 4 things. What else do I need to stamp? Let me look. I think nothing. I think I'm done with stamping. Okay, so let's then grab some markers and we'll do some colouring. let me have a look. I've got what have I got? Dark mango melody for the bird, and I'm just going to colour the beak in. I'm going to make this a cardinal there, and I've got some real red. Whoops, let me use the small point. I'm just quickly colouring the cardinal. You don't need to do any shading. I mean, it's a very small piece, but all your markings are there for you, you know. We're going to colour the one in that I stamped off as well, just to see which one we like best. It'll only take an extra second or two. And this is light real red. This is the light. You know, your markers always come in a set of 2, and there's a light and a dark. And they all have a pencil point and a brush point. I think I might like, I don't know, I might go back and like the dark one. So then we've got the wreath to colour in, and we're going to colour the berries on the wreath in real red. Just quickly. I mean, you don't have to, you've got lots of green around this, so it's not going to matter if you go out of your lines a little bit. You don't want to be messy, but you don't have to be too exact. There's a few more. There, so that's it for real red. We've got some this is bronze. This was a new colour. This is bronze, and I'm going to colour these big leaves in bronze. These, because I want them to look, I don't know what the leaf is called, but you often see these beautiful bronzy, shiny bronze leaves in Christmas wreaths. So that's why I'm using bronze for this. And I'm just quickly colouring. Where else? Here. Should be another set down here. And I'm just turning my card just so that it's easier to clean. Easier to colour. There. Is that all the brown? I think that's all the bronze we need. That piece on the corner there. What else have I got? I've got some light old olive or granny apple green. I think we'll go with granny apple green just to give it a little bit of brightness. Granny apple green, and I'm going to colour these leaves here in granny apple green. And I'm not doing any shading on them, I'm just quickly colouring the leaves in. And when I'm done here, I'm going to put all of these pieces, I'll tell you all of the pieces that I'm going to cut out. I'm going to try and get them all on one plate for cutting out and one plate for embossing. Okay. Just going to do, I'm going to fill that in green just because I can. There we go. Now you might think this is a funny colour, but that's okay. The next colour is light blueberry bushel, and I'm going to colour these bigger pieces that are left in blueberry bushel, light blueberry bushel, and it just gives it a little bit of extra colour on the card itself. And blueberry bushel is one of the colours that is in the package of paper, the Nests of Winter package. So it does tie in. All of these colours work together. Just quickly colour a couple more. And you know, when you're using alcohol markers, you don't have to go right to the edges of the piece you've stamped, you know, when you're colouring in the berries and things, because the alcohol marker settles out and it sort of bleeds just a little bit, you know. What we're going to do next, actually we're going to cut the sentiment off the bottom, because I don't want that to get marked by the embossing plate. So I've just cut that off the bottom. Now we're going to pick out some dies that we're going to use, and I'm going to put my first plate, my glass plate, under here first, so that I can just pick this up and carry it to the cut and emboss machine. We need a little piece of red on here, and we've got some laces for the skates. We need some skates on here. They'll cut out of the white, so they'll go there. We need the little bird so that he can, let's just cut the red one out first. Now I'm going to tape the small pieces, the odd pieces down, just because I don't want them to move when I'm walking across the room. And then we've got the wreath. Now you're looking at this wreath and you're thinking, how on earth am I going to line that up? You've got hints and clues, you know. You've got little bits that stick out here and there, but look at the shape of the center. You see you've got almost a flat edge there. This is round, that's flat. There is the flat edge on your wreath. So start there, just lie it down, give it a little wiggle till you get it so that it looks lined up all over. Move it just a little bit if you need to, and then this for sure you're going to tape down, because you really don't want this to move anywhere. Okay, so what have I got? I have skates, I have blades. I need a piece of silver foil to cut out some blades. And this is what I mean by getting this all on the one pass through the big shot. So I've got a wreath, I've got skates and blades, I've got laces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's everything I'm going to cut out. But I'm also going to take at the same time this piece of basic white, which was 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm going to put it in the embossing folder. Now I'm going to use this big swirly piece of embossing. You'll see when I come back, and I'm just going to run over to the big shot, hoping these don't all blow off, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are, we're back. Let's look at this first. This is the embossed piece. You see what lovely embossing it gives it. It's beautiful and deep, so that was good. Now we've got some pieces here. We've got the wreath, and isn't that lovely? Didn't that cut out nice? That's beautiful. I'm just going to set these pieces on my foam mat so you can see them as I take them out of the dies. That's just the scrap of cardstock that's left. We've got a little bird that we stamped in black, and then we've got the same bird that we stamped when I stamped off once. I like them both. I like them both. I gotta get these dies right back where they came from. We've got some skates or skate blades there. And what else have we got? Yeah, this funny little piece here. I need a pokey tool. This is the laces for the skates. They do take a bit of poking out, but you know, it's like everything. It just takes a minute. So there is one lace, and where's the other one? Oops, here's the die. goes. These are the cutest things, these laces, I tell you. And that goes back there. Oh, and then we've got skates. Come on. Now, let me get those pieces out of the way. Make sure the laces are punched out. There. That can go right back on the board. I think everything is right back on the magnet. Just close that up to give us some room. Now we've got to build the skates and build the card. Okay, so we're going to take the embossed piece and it's going to go on here like this, on the 8.5 by 2.5 piece. The smaller section is at the top where it was scored. This is going to go right up here, and just have an even border around 3 sides. You'll have a big space at the bottom, but just wait and see what happens. Now I need some emboss. Now this embossed piece, you can use it whichever way you like. One side is as nice as the other. You just pick a side and glue it down. You might need a little bit of extra adhesive than you normally use, because you know some parts of it don't touch the card. I'm just going to put it on here like this. Give it a little slide if I need to, so that it's nice and even. Press. Okay. Got to remember to keep that little bottle of enamel effects in my sight. Alright, so we've done that. We're going to take and build the skates. We've got 2 skates, 2 sets of laces, and 2 blades. Now for the blades, I'm going to use my little bottle of what is this, like super adhesive, you know, and I'm just going to pull it a little closer to me. So the blades are going on the skates, and I've got some tweezers ready to pick the blades up, because they're going to be covered in this heavy duty, if I can get it out. There it goes. And I have to say, this little glue bottle is handy, but it's fiddly. And I'm going to pick the blade up, and I'm going to put the first one down. And I'm going to try and line it up. Oh, that lined up nicely. Let me just turn that over. Yep, that. Wonderful. Another blade. Oops, turn it over. We'll get some good strong adhesive going on this piece. And I've just realised I'm gluing on my foam mat, not on the silicone mat. Not to worry, I'll clean it up when I'm finished. There, that goes on there. A little push to line it up perfectly. There. Now I'm going to turn the skates over, and I'm just going to talk about these laces for a second. That's the piece we've cut out for the lace. You have a slot here on the skate, and what happens is, I'll do a dry run, what happens is you put the glue on the back of the skate, and then this feeds into there like that, and then you just sort of push the lace into place where you want it to be. Alright, it's simple to do, but you got to work from the back of your skates. I'm just using some strong adhesive again, if I can get it to come out. line down, see if it helps. Turn my skate over, push this in from the front, just let it sit where you think you need it, and then press down at the back, from the back. You might need to use your tweezers to hold it, you know, so that you can get it pressed down, just for a second. Same again, pick your skate up, turn it over, work from the front, tuck your lace into the slot. And just hold it with your tweezers for a minute. Not even a minute, but just, you know, just a few seconds. Alright, so there we go. So now we've got this red twine. I'm going to cut off about 6 inches. Okay, we don't need a lot. Now, where's my wreath? I have to think now. I have to start thinking, dear me. So this piece is going to go, this piece of twine, 6 inches, is going to go over the wreath like that. Now you got to pick a spot on the wreath. Where do you want it to sit? I'm going to pick this little divot part at the bottom right there, because this ribbon fits just about into there like that. Okay, I'm going to glue the ribbon down to the back of the wreath, just to hold it and make it easier to work with. So I'm just going to put a squirt of this strong adhesive again there, and fold that over and pull it and hold it down, hold it with the tweezers again, just so that it gets a grip. Now we have to look at this piece and see where it's going to go, where this is going to sit. You can, if you want to, glue your other side of your ribbon down to the front if you think it would be easier to work with. Let's just do that. A little bit of glue there, and just hold it in place. So now we're going to put the skates on the end of the ribbon. Let me move that and work on this mat because we're getting messy. Okay, so we've got this piece with the beautiful white embossing on. This is going to go here. Now I'm just lying it down so that I can see where this is going to go, and I want to glue this ribbon to the back of my skates. First of all, I'm going to glue the skates together so that they stay together, you know, and look like skates hanging. Okay, so they're going to sit like that, something like that. Alright, so you've got 2 skates. Okay, so I'm just going to turn them down. Let me just pick up a glue dot, and I'm just going to put it somewhere to hold these 2 skates together. There. You can't see it, I hope, from the front. No. So that's just holding the skates together. That's going there. My skates are going to sit here like this so that the ribbon holds the skates. So I'm going to take this and glue my skates to the ribbon so that it looks like the ribbon is you know, holding the skates. I'm just going to turn it over. Just putting down some regular Tombow, pressing the ribbon into it, lifting the other piece up, a little bit of Tombow there, and that's just pressed the ribbon onto the back of the skates so that it sits like this, and it's going to sit on the card like that. So now I'm going to put down some dimensionals. I had some. I'm just putting them where you can't see them on the back of the wreath, I think. there, and I'm going to put a couple on the skates as well, just so that the skates don't hang too far down, so that they don't swing, I guess. There we are. There we go. Okay, so we've got this, and we're going to line this up. We're going to put the wreath about not quite a 1/4 inch from the top, just like that, and then the skates are down as well. There we go. Yep, down, everything down nicely. I'm going to take this hemp and make a little wee bow if I can. Just a little wee one. 2 rabbit ears, wrap them around. There, and then start pulling on your ends so you don't have too big a loop and on one side and not big enough on the other. I need to pull that back just a little bit. There we go. That's nice. Just trim the end. Yep, and that on a glue dot will sit nicely. Just going to set the bow on there. Give it a little press. There. So now we're going to put the rest of the card together. We're going to take this piece here, and we've got the big section at the top, and we're going to fold that. Let me think. We're going to start from the top, and we're going to do a mountain fold, and where is my, and we're going to give it a good press, and then we're going down the card. We're taking the next one, it's going to be a valley fold, and then the last one is a mountain fold again. So what you end up with is this little piece of card like this. Alright, this piece here is going to go on here like this and like this, so that makes your easel card. Okay, so I'm going to glue this. I'm actually going to, because I want it nicely in the center, I'm going to take my ruler and pencil, and I'm going to put a little mark right in the middle of this piece. This piece is 4 1/4, so a mark in the middle would be at 2 1/8 inches, and I'm going to make it closer to the bottom so I can see it. And this piece here is 2 1/2 inches, so a little mark would be at 1 1/4. Alright, and that's just to line everything up nicely in the middle. So this piece here, I'm going to line it up with a mark there, and it's going to sit about there. Okay, so I'm just going to use liquid glue, and I'm going to do about not quite a 1/2 inch of glue at the bottom. I'm going to line this up, make it nice and straight, and really I'm just eyeballing this at the bottom. Give it a little, whoops, not too big a push, just a little push right there. This piece here is going to go on the front. To cover this. That looks good. And I should have checked to see that my bird was sitting the right way up, but I think he's going to be covered anyway, so it really doesn't matter, but still. Now we're going to turn this over. We're going to take this and fold it down here, and we're going to put adhesive along the edge again. Just going to lie this down, fold this down flat, glue it. Oops, let's make sure it's straight. There. We have a sentiment somewhere right here, and we have a piece for the back of the card. Let's do the back of the card first. This piece here gets glued on there, so you've got somewhere to write. Almost finished. So that just lines up there nicely. Got time to twist it if you need to. There. Back to the front, we've got this. Now that's going to be a little wide, so I'm not even going to try and cut it off with the scissors today. I'm going to cut it off with the cutter. There. And I need a sliver off the other side. There was a sliver. That looks good, and I'm going to trim just a little bit off at the top. Maybe a smidge at the bottom. There, that's all I'm going to cut off, and I'm just going to use my little corner rounder. There. There. This is going to go down here like this. I hope your days are filled with fun and laughter. And then we've got a little cardinal. And I think I'm going to use this one. That's great. Let's have a look which one looks better. No, the black looks better. We're just going to put a little bit of glue on the end of him. Set him just on the top of the wreath. No, I think we'll put him down here. Just hold him there for a minute. Now, very lightly. This, when it comes out, it can make a huge glob. So I'm just going to practice. See, that's way too big. I just want a little bit like that. Takes a minute or two to get your practice going. Okay, I'm going to start there and there. That one was way too big. By the time I get to the last one, I should have this down pat. I want to go very just gently. You can see it as it comes down the tube, and that's when it's time to ease off when you're squeezing. There, that's much better. Much, much better. So there it is. Today's card. I hope your days are filled with fun and laughter, and on the back it says, let's decorate the season, and it fits in your standard envelope. 5.5 by 4.25 envelope. It fits in there nicely. That's it for today. That's today's card. My own design, you're more than welcome to copy it. I just want to show you this paper here. That was the original card that we made several years ago in one of my card classes. So, you know, you just by changing the paper on the front and the design itself, which way do I want to go? This way. there, side by side, 2 cards. If you want to copy and share, please do so. Just by changing the elements on the front of the card, you can make it look like a completely different card. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.